Karen here. Today we're going to be making a joy fold card. Now this is a card you don't see very often, and what it is basically you take two cards and put them together that are different sizes, and you end up with a card that opens up this way. You have a message here, and then you open it up again and there's a second message in it. And the one I'm going to do today is a 5x7 card with a 4x6 on top. And you can decorate these any way you want. Here's one I made for Mother's Day. Here again, 4x6 in the front. You open it up, you now see the front of the 5x7. And when you open it up, now you're looking at the inside of the 5x7. So there are a lot of pieces to cut, but I have a list and we will go through them all. And let me get this camera turned around and we will get started. Alright, so let's see here. I have a list. So you will need the 5x7 and the 4x6 card front. We will start with that. Now, we are going to trim a little piece off of this, but I started with the card front because a lot of people do buy pre-made card fronts, and so that's what a lot of people would start with. And then we have the 4x6, which of course would be 6 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to do. So we have two pieces of 3x5 that are white, that we have going to put a message on, and then there are two that are 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using a green print here that I'm going to mat and layer for the messages. Alright, now on the front of the 5x7, because we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off here, you're going to need a piece that is 4 1/4 by 6 3/4. That is then going to sit on here like this, and we are going to line it up against the edge, but that will be after we cut it. Alright, so then on the front of the 4x6, which is going to be sitting in here backwards, so it's going to open backwards, you're going to need a 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. You're going to need a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm going to be using this topper from Crafter's Companion, and this is called the Floral Spray, and it's something I've had a long time, but I really like this decoupage. I still had a few left in my pad that I had, and I thought that would be nice for Mother's Day. And then I have a greeting. It says, "For my wife on Mother's Day," and that is going to go down here. So then when you open it on the inside of the 5x7, we are going to need a 5 3/4 by 6 3/4, and that I'm going to use as floral print. And then I have these two sheets here. Now, I'm not sure exactly how I want to use these. I'm thinking I want to layer these like this, but we'll get to that and we'll look at it and decide which combination I want to use. So that's all the paper. So now let's go through how we need to prepare the layers and the one cut we need to make here. Alright, so I'm going to pull this over here to the side, and I'm going to make my stacks back over here. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer here. So when we have a 5x7 card, we have a 7x10 that is scored at 5. So if you're starting with a pre-made card base, you're going to take your fold and bring it down to 4 1/2. So see, we have 4 1/2 here. I'm lining that up with where I would be scoring it, and I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch. Alright, so let's say you're not starting with a card base and you're just cutting your piece of paper. So you're going to cut a piece of paper 9 1/2 by 7, and you're going to score it at 4 1/2 if you're not starting with a card base. So that gives us a card base with a 1/2 inch here. Now let me get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. And let me bring in the 4x6. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to start from the inside and work your way forward because of the way we're going to be layering things. So the first piece that's going to go down is going to be the 6 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's going on the inside. So I'm going to leave this right here so we can kind of follow this as we go along. So let me grab some glue. And we're going to put this in first. Now, if you're doing a print on this layer, you need to make sure you're doing something that you're going to be able to line up, or it's not going to be that obvious that it's two pieces of paper you're looking at when you're looking at the front of the card. So I'm going to glue this in the middle. All right. Now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to take the 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, and this is going to get glued on here. Now we're going to be centering the top, the outside on the fold, and the bottom are all going to be the same, and this will be up against the edge. Put some glue on here. And we're going to line this up here, making sure we are lined up with the paper on the back. That's why we want to do the back one first. So now we know how to line this up. So when we're looking at the front of the card, it's all straight. And that's why I wouldn't suggest just gluing these to the center and cutting the inch off. I would definitely cut the half inch, cut the ½ inch off first, because now we can see where these papers are going to come together, and that way we can make sure they're all lined up and straight. All right, so now our front is here. Now this isn't an exact match, but once we put the front on, you're not going to be able to tell. So the next thing to do is to attach the 4 by 6. So we're going to open the card. Remember, this is going in backwards, so the flap is going to be this side. We're going to glue this back part of the card. Get some glue on here, not go crazy. All right. This is going to go in the center of the card. Now you may want to use glue that's going to give you a second, because you're going to want to fold this down and close it and make sure it looks okay from the front. You want to make sure this is going to be flush here and that it's all nice and even here. Okay, so now we have our front panel, which we can decorate. We'll have a messaging here, and we'll have messaging here. And it's that simple. That is the basic Joy Fold card, and now the rest of it is all decorating. So I think I'm going to start with the back first. So let me grab my 2 messages and my papers. So I have on this one, I want to honor you not just as my partner in life, but as the incredible mother you are. Your love nurtures our family. Your strength binds us together, and your wisdom guides our children. You are the heart of our home. So this is the one I want on the inside. And this one is going to be on this flap here. So first let's do the inside. So I'm thinking I want to take these 2, because this is a lot of white here. This is what I was thinking. I would take this, put this in the middle here, and then this would sit on top like this. I think that's what I want to do. So I know definitely this is getting glued together, so I might as well just glue this. And this is the 3 by 5. And so this is the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And this is just going to go in the center. Alright. Now that's all glued down. Now we can decide. Let's see. So if we have the 2 stripes, it will look like that, because these pieces are cut to match the 6 3/4 length here. So that's what that would look like. We can do it with just the green, which I don't know, I think I may like just the green better. Or let's see what it looks like with just the brown. I think I'm leaning toward just the green. Now it's just enough to break up the white a little bit. Unless, let's see, what if I did it like this? No, that doesn't do anything for it. I think I'm going to do it with just the green. Yeah, I think like this. Alright, so I am going to take this and glue this down in the middle. And I'm measuring middle from here to here. So if it is 2 inches across and this is 4, I should have about an inch on each side. Let me double check that before that dries. And yep, I have an inch. Let me make sure it's straight. Alright, that's pretty straight. And now this will get glued on top. And once again, this was the 2 by 6 3/4, and this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, with the white piece being 3 by 5. And we'll put that in the middle. Alright, now that piece is done. Now let's close this flap. Now this is the one that's the front of our 5 by 7 card that we cut the 1/2 inch off. Now this will have the second message on here. And this I'm just going to glue on like this. So this will be attached to here. This will be on here. Center that. This will be on here. Now let's see. Do I want to do anything with this? Since I still have that piece I cut. So if we put that here, that doesn't look bad. And then it would come out of the top like that. Or do I want to cut that to 6? You know what? I'm just going to leave it. Go with the original plan. So once again, this is the 3 by 5 white piece of paper with a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 mat, and I'm going to put this in the center. And here again, you want to make sure you're in the center of this. Now this is going to center for the whole 5 by 7 card. So we want it here. We want to close this and make sure we're all covered here. All right, so this is now centered here. All right, and this part is done. So now we're going to close, and now we have the front of the card. So now the pieces I have left, I have, let's look over here. I have a 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 tan paper. And I may use the lighter color, not sure. I have a green that is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then I have my topper and my For My Wife on Mother's Day. For My Wife on Mother's Day, I'm going to put up on foam, so let me grab my foam. And I think I'm going to use 1/16 foam for this. So let me just snip off a piece. Move that up for a second. And oh, if you're wondering how big this is 2 1/4 by 1 is what I ended up putting on here. So this is 2 1/4 by 1. Alright, so that is ready to go. So now I just have to decide, do I want the light colored paper? Or do I want to use the dark side? I think I like the lighter one, so I'm going to use the light side. So I'm going to glue this down. Let me move this a little closer to me. Make sure I'm not putting the words upside down, because this side has words on it. And that will go in the center of the 4 by 6, because now we're gluing this down to the center of the backwards 4 by 6. Alright, so now we have a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go in the middle here. bow in the center, like that. Make sure yep, that's in the center. So now we have the little decoupage flower that I did. And I'm starting to see these again. Every once in a while I'll see some. Because I really like doing the decoupage like this. And I find it very relaxing. So let's figure out how we want this on here. We want it hanging down or inside. So I put that up, and this can come here. I think I want that just on the edge hanging down a little bit, and then this here. Alright, so let me put this on. And I'm going to center this and just hang it down a little bit. Alright. Now, decide where I want to put this. And I don't think this needs any more foam or any more height. There is plenty of height there. Let me see, or maybe. Here's flat. Oh, let's see. Maybe I do. Alright, you know what? I can pull it off if I don't like it. Let's see. So let's flip this over. Put some foam here. We'll put some over here. And a little piece over here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like it with the foam. Alright. So let's put this on. Once again, this is foam that is 1/16 of an inch thick. And now, this is a one-time shot, so let me get up and make sure I have it in the right place. I think maybe here at a little bit of an angle. And there we go. Alright. So this card is finished. So we have For My Wife on Mother's Day. And we open it up with our first message. And we'll open up the other part. And here's our second message. And it does stand up all by itself. You can, it's not going to fall over because it does have the 5x7 supporting it. And now let me show you the other ones I made again, up nice and close. So this is the first one, from my daughter on Mother's Day. And this one, the flowers and the hearts are something I drew. And then on the inside, Happy Mother's Day to a daughter who's brought so much joy into my life. And you can see here. Now this one you'll notice is a little bit skinnier because this one is 3x5. And so then this makes the white part 2 3/4 wide. And I kind of like the other one better where it's wider. So I made the other ones wider. And this one, I covered the whole thing on the inside, the 4x6, and then the bigger piece was on the back with the same print. And then I did a solid around here. So that's a different look. And this one, Happy Birthday, King of the Grill. We have Hope Your Day is Flippin' Awesome and Relish the Day. Now this one, I did a solid here against the print, where this one, let's open look this one again, is print and print together. See, there's the print is the same. So there's different ways you can do it to get different looks. But yeah, so I really do like this Joyfold card. I've been convinced this is a nice card. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up, because that's how YouTube counts everything. And until next time, stay crafty.